for tea?
No, I'm not stopping. I'm on the cadge, really. You wouldn't have such a thing as a flute, would you? We've just had a flautist call.
A flute? Goodness.
I mean, no warning, no nothing.
I'm just trying to think, Ivy. I know we did have one.
Well, we haven't got a thing in the house except percussion.
Well, I suppose a bassoon wouldn't do if I can find one.
Oh, yes, that would do lovely, Frida.
Well, I'll just see what's in the cupboard.
I mean, as long as it's something you can blow down.
Well, you want to be able to blow across it, really, if he's a flautist, won't he? But, oh, no.
Not well for that.
There's only this.
What?
Wouldn't that do, do you think? It's one of Mum's old bassoons, but she never uses it.
Oh, yes, that would do lovely, Frida.
I think it works all right, as long as he doesn't mind a bit of coal dust in it.
Well, as long as you can spare it, lovely.
I'll just put a duster over it for you, get some of the worst.
No, don't bother.
Oh, it won't take a minute.
No, I could make do with it as it is, you see.
Well, I only wish I knew where I could put my hands on a flute for you. There's one about here, I'm certain. You know, we had an old harmonium with a flute in it at one time, but I don't know till Tom gets in what he's done with it.
No, well, don't fret, because, I mean, this'll do lovely, will
Yes,
this?
well, tell him to mind the coal dust inside when he starts to blow.
I've not told you about Wednesday, have I?
Not that Mrs. Bargold again.
Yes, you know what a nice day it was on Wednesday? I mean, when it had cleared up a bit, you know, so I thought I'll just get out in the garden with my book while I can, you see, for half an hour.
And Mrs. Bargold started up.
Started up? You've never heard nothing like it. Right through the trellis work. Ooh.
She must have a sixth sense.
Every time I get out there, any kind of cold over tune, I couldn't stomach it any longer. I said, Mrs. Bargold, I said, I don't mind you singing, but not through my trellis work, if you don't mind.
Well, I mean, it's not as if it's just once or twice, is it?
Rock of Ages, full blast to the top of the
Rock of Ages? Well, that's a change, isn't it?
Right through the trellis work. I couldn't read nothing, Frida.
Do you know, I don't think I've heard Mrs. Bargold sing Rock of Ages since Mr. Step-Upper called her in to sing down the overflow pipe while the stopcock was being seen.
I told her I didn't have my trellis work put up for her to sing Rock of Ages through just whenever it happened to suit her convenience.
Well, of course not.
I mean, it's not cheap, you know. 10 and 6 a yard or two to put up with a neighbour.
Well, I can imagine.
And I've complained about the nails. They're all thick green mould where she's been corroding and muffing about.
I mean, it's no joke getting it off either, is it? Especially on her side of the fence.
You won't believe this, Peter, but I have to get right up on my ladder like this, you know. And I have to lean right over. I mean... Yeah. It wouldn't matter so much if it was ordinary rust. You could get that with anything. I mean, you could get that with a national anthem, but... This is thick green mood. She must be able to see it forming in front of her very eyes, and she makes no attempt to stop it.
Do you know, it must be the same as that Mrs. Bates, all over her front door.
Oh.
It took her nearly a week to get it off. Someone singing Shenandoah through her letterbox while she was out.
And you knew what she had the cheek to say to me? What? She said that nobody had ever complained before. She said, nobody's ever complained before, she said.
Well, only because they knew it wouldn't make any difference.
I told her it wouldn't have mattered so much if they were stainless steel.
Well, or plastic.
Nobody's ever complained before. I said, no. Nobody's ever had Rock of Ages sung through the trellis work week in, week out for months on end. What was that?
It sounded like a trombone, Ivy.
Yes, well, I'll better go and see what he's up to.
I expect he couldn't wait. He's blown the nearest thing. Nothing in the house except percussion.